When we think of religious texts, we tend to think of the Bible and the Quran, the big ones. However, religions rely on other texts as well. The big texts like the Bible are called the foundational texts of a religious tradition. They are the texts on which the whole religion rests. Importantly, adherents usually believe that they're revealed to humans by God, or the gods, or at least divinely inspired. For example, while the Quran was made known by Muhammad, he claimed to have received the words directly from God. Similarly, while Christians acknowledge that specific people wrote the books of the Bible, they claim that these authors were inspired by God, and so the authors didn't make any errors. No other text can contradict a foundational one. Many religious traditions have other important texts that comment on or add value to the foundational texts. Jews have the Mishnah and other writings which explain the Torah. Muslims have the Hadith, the sayings of the prophets. Catholics have the writings of the Pope, encyclicals, and the Catechism, which try to apply the teachings of Christ to practical situations. Interestingly, one of the foundations of Protestant Christianity is that truth is in Scripture alone, and therefore no other secondary texts can be held as divinely inspired. In addition to these texts, religions rely on thousands of other minor texts. These are books by adherents which, while not necessarily authoritative, help the adherents to understand the tradition. These include histories, stories, books on theology, and the lives of important figures. In the Catholic tradition, authors of these books can even apply to have their texts ruled nil obstat, meaning without error. As you can see, there are three levels of texts in a tradition. Foundational texts, revealed or inspired by God; secondary texts, official or perhaps divinely inspired; and other texts, written by adherents.